The state of presence is not what you think it is. You can think about presence, and the mind can't understand it. Understanding presence is being present. Try a little experiment. Close your eyes and say to yourself, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Then become very alert and wait for the next thought. Be like a cat watching a mouse hole. A thought is going to come out of the mouse hole. Try it now. What kind of thought? Okay, so what is the question? I wonder what my next thought is going to be. My next thought is going to be. My next thought is going to be. Oh, okay. Exactly. Well, I had to wait for quite a long time before a thought came in. Exactly. As long as you are in a state of intense presence, you are free of thought. Intense presence, you are free of thought. You are still, yet highly alert. The intensity of conscious attention sinks below a certain level, thought rushes in. The mental noise returns and the stillness is lost. Okay. Which is to say, absent, unconscious. To stay present in everyday life, it helps to be deeply rooted within yourself. Otherwise, the mind, which has incredible momentum, will drag you along like a wild river. What do you mean by rooted within yourself? The present is perceived as an undesirable obstacle that prevents you from having what you want. There is no left for daydreaming, thinking, remembering, anticipating. There is no tension in it, no fear, just alert presence. You are present with your whole being, with every cell of your body. You are more fully yourself than you ever were before, or rather, it is now that you're truly yourself. Beauty arises in the stillness of your presence. To describe a flash of insight, a moment of no mind and total presence. You are briefly in a state of no mind. They might say, what a pretty flow, or what a pretty flower, but that's just a mechanical mental labeling. Free themselves from their mind, realizing a pure consciousness. When you become conscious of being, what is really happening is that being becomes conscious of itself. When being becomes conscious of itself, that's a presence. Since being, consciousness, and the life is synonymous, we could say that presence means consciousness become conscious of itself, or life attaining self-consciousness. But don't get attached to the words, and don't make an effort to understand this. There is nothing that you need to understand before you can become present. Unless and until you access the consciousness frequency of presence, all relationships, and particularly intimate relationships, are deeply flawed and ultimately dysfunctional. They may seem perfect for a while, such as when you're in love, but invariably that apparent perfection gets disrupted in arguments, conflicts, dissatisfaction, and emotional or even physical violence occur with increasing frequency. It seems that most love relationships become love or hate relationships before long. Love can then turn into savage attack, Feelings of hostility are a complete withdrawal of affection at a flick of a switch. This is considered normal. The relationship that oscillates for a while, a few months or a few years, between the polarities of the love and hate, and it gives you as much pleasure as it gives you pain. It is not uncommon for couples to become addicted to those cycles. Their trauma makes them feel alive. When a balance between the positivity or negativity volatilities is lost, and the negative, destructive cycles occur with increasing frequency and intensity, which tends to happen sooner or later, then it will not be long before the relationship finally collapses. It may appear that if you could only eliminate the negative or destructive cycles, then all would be well and the relationship would flower beautifully. But Elias, this is not possible. The polarities are mutually interdependent. You cannot have one without the other. The positive already contains within itself the as yet unmanifested negative. Both are in fact different aspects of same dysfunction. I'm speaking here of what is commonly called romantic relationships, not of true love, which has no opposite, because it arises from beyond the mind. Love as continuous state is as yet very rare, as rare as conscious human beings. Brief and elusive glimpses of love, however, are possible whenever there is a gap in the stream of mind. The negative side of the relationship is, of course, more easily reorganizable as dysfunctional than the positive one, and it is also easier to recognize the source of negativity in your partner than to see it in yourself. It can manifest in many forms: possessiveness, jealousy, control, withdrawal, and unspoken resentment, the need to be right, insensitivity and self-absorption, emotional demands and manipulation, the urge to argue, criticize, judge, blame, or attack, anger, unconscious revenge for past pain inflicted by the parent, rage, and physical violence. On the positive side, you are in love with your partner. This is the first and deep satisfying state. You feel intensely alive. Your existence has suddenly become meaningful because someone needs you, wants you, and it makes you feel special. And you do the same for him or her. When you're together, you feel whole. The feeling can become so intense that the rest of the world fades into significance. Irene, 쓸데없는 생각, that's a useless thought. Yeah, you should brush up that, right? However, you may also have noticed that there is a neediness and a clinging quality to the intensity. You become addicted to the other person. He or she acts on you like a drug. You're on a high when the drug is available, but even the possibility or a thought that he or she may no longer be there for you can lead to jealousy, possessiveness, attempts at manipulating through emotional blackmail, blaming, and accusing. Fear of loss. If the other person does leave you, this can give rise to the most intense hostility or most profound grief and despair. In an intense, a loving tenderness can turn into savage attack or dreadful grief. Where is the love now? Can love change into its opposite in an instant? Was it love in the first place, or just an addictive grasping and clinging? Why should we become addicted to another person? The reason is why the romantic love relationship is such an intense and the universally sought after experience is that it seems to offer liberation from a deep-seated state of fear, need, lack, and incompetence, and is a part of the human condition in its unredeemed and unenlightened state. There is a physical as well as a psychological dimension to this state. On the physical level, you are obviously not whole, nor will you ever be. You are either a man or a woman, which is to say, one half of the whole. Whole? On this level, the longing for wholeness, the return to oneness, manifested as male-female attraction, man's need for a woman, woman's need for a man. That is to say, you get your sense of who you are from things that ultimately have nothing to do with who you are. Your social role, possessions, external appearance, success and failures, belief systems, and so on. This false mind makes up the ego feels vulnerable, insecure, and is always seeking new things to identify with to give it a feeling that it exists. But nothing is ever enough to give it a lasting fulfillment. Its fear remains, its sense of lack and neediness remains. Independence, being independent, yeah. The person you are in love with, you are no longer a disconnected fragment in an uncaring universe. Or so it seems. Your world now has a center, the loved one. If in your relationships you're experiencing both love and the opposite of love, attack, emotional violence, and so on, then it is likely that you are confusing ego attachment and addictive clinging with love. You cannot love your partner one moment and attack him or her the next. True love has no opposite. If your love has an opposite, then it is not love but a strong ego need for a more complete and a deeper sense of self, a need that the other person temporarily meets. But there comes a point when a partner behaves in ways that fail to meet your needs or rather those of your ego. The feelings of fear, pain, and lack that are intrinsic part of egoic consciousness but had been covered up by the love relationship now resurface, just as with every other addiction. You are not high when the drug is available, but invariably there comes a time when the drug no longer works for you, when those painful feelings reappear. No. Wow. I don't think that's a good symptom or just in a phenomenon. So, okay. You feel them even more strongly than before. And what is more? Being independent. Yeah, why does it not feel like that? No. You now You now perceive your partner is in a positive those feelings. This means that you project them outward and attack the other with an old-established balance that is a part of your pain. This attack may awaken the partner's own pain, and he or she may counter your attack. At this point, the ego is still unconsciously hoping that its attack or its attempts and manipulating will be sufficient punishment to induce your partner to change their behavior so that it can use them again as a cover-up for your pain. Every addiction arises from unconscious refusal to face and move through your own pain. Every addiction starts with pain and ends with the pain. No, I don't think so. It's not pain because I'm addicted to reading books and working out, but it's not just gonna start with pain. Just pass by pain and then also feel kind of euphoric feeling. So I don't agree with this one actually. So every addiction rises from unconscious refusal to face and move through your own pain. Every addiction starts with pain and ends with pain. No, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. So, whatever the substances you're addicted to, alcohol, food, legal or illegal drugs, or person. No, I'm not. I'm addicted to reading books and workouts, so it's not like it's just in a pain or something like that. It's just in a euphoric, yeah. And you're using something or somebody to cover up your pain. That is why, no, it's not something or somebody just to cover my pain. I only can cover my pain. That's my responsibility, right? That is why after initial euphoria has passed, there is so much unhappiness, so much pain in intimate relationships. They do not cause pain and unhappiness. They bring out the pain and unhappiness that is already in you. Every addiction does that. Every addiction reaches a point where it does not work for you anymore, and then you feel the pain more intensely than ever. No, I don't think so. Like, euphoric period, and after that, I can't just, feel stable. I don't really just, feel good when I'm, like, in euphoric period, which is like, I make it I can feel it, like a lot of dopamine spike. Right, I don't feel it. That's good. Yeah, that's really good as well. Only that period I can feel those kind of dopamine spike, right? But still, like, after that stage, after that period, like, of course, I feel stable, and then also it's more like, deep and the stable state with my partner. So I don't think, yeah, I don't agree with that. They make it. It just, depends on the person. Yeah, that's why we need the training and practicing. Even like, we need discipline as well, for relationships. Yeah, so this is one reason why most people are always, trying to escape from the present moment and are seeking some kinds of salvation in the future. The first thing that you might encounter if they focus their attention on the now is their own pain. It's not pain. It's just a pain of enjoyment. I'm reading a book at this moment, right? Just try to be present, right? So I feel so enjoy. Why just always just feel like just pain? And then also after that reading period, like I can feel endorphin. So which is like one of the euphoric state as well. So that's why I don't know why they always just say like that. So I don't think I don't agree with that actually. So yeah. Now the power of presence that dissolves the past and its pain, the reality that dissolves an illusion. If they only knew how close they are to their own reality, how close to God. Yes, of course. Avoidance of relationships and attempt to avoid pain is not the answer either, of course. Yeah, definitely. The pain is there anyway. 3 failed relationships in many years are more likely to force you into awakening than 3 years on a desert island and they shut away in your room. But if you could bring intensive presence into your aloneness, as in a kind of solitude, right? Okay, that would work for you too. Okay. Can we change an addictive relationship into a true one? Of course, yes, definitely. Being present and intensifying your presence by taking your attention ever more deeply into the now. Whether you are living alone or with a partner, this remains the key. For love to flourish, the light of your presence needs to be strong enough so that You no longer get taken over by the thinker or the pain body and mistake them for who you are. To know yourself as being underneath the thinker, the stillness underneath the mental noise, the love and joy underneath the pain is freedom, salvation, enlightenment. 2. Disidentify from the pain bodies to bring presence into the pain and thus transmute it. 2. Disidentify from thinking is to be the silent watcher of your thoughts and behavior, especially the repetitive patterns of your mind and the roles played by the ego. If you stop investing it with self-interest, the mind loses its compulsive quality, which basically is a compulsion to judge and so to resist what is, which creates conflict, drama, and new pain. In fact, the moment that judgment stops through acceptance of what is, you're free of the mind. You have made room for love, for joy, for peace. First you stop judging yourself, then you stop judging your partner. The greatest catalyst for change in a relationship is complete acceptance of your partner as he or she is, without needing to judge or change them in any way. That immediately takes you beyond the ego. All mind games and all addictive clinging to then over. There are no victims and no perpetrators anymore, no accuser and accused. This is also the end of codependency, of being drawn into somebody else's unconscious pattern and thereby enabling it to continue. You will then either separate in love or move ever more deeply into the now together, into being. Can it be that simple? Yes, it is that simple. Love isn't a state of being. Your love, not outside. It is deep within you. You can never lose it. And it can leave you. It cannot leave you. It is not dependent on some other body, some external form. In the stillness of your presence, you can feel your own formless and timeless realized manifest in life that animates in your physical form. You can then feel the same life deep within every other human and every other creature. You look beyond the veil of form and separation. This is the realization of oneness. This is love. What is God? The eternal one life and underneath in all forms of life. What is love? To feel the presence of that one life deep within yourself and within all creatures. To be it, therefore, all love is the love of God. Love is not selective, just as the light of the sun is not selective. It does not make one person special, but is not exclusive. Exclusivity is not the love of God, but the love of ego. However, the intensity with which true love is felt can vary. There may be one person who reflects your love back to you more clearly and more intensity than others. And if that person feels the same towards you, it can be said that you are in a love relationship with him or her. The bond that connects with you, that person is in the same bond that connects you with that person sitting next to you on the bus, or with a bird, a tree, a flower. Only the degree of intensity with which is felt differs. Even in outside addictive relationship, there may be moments when something more real shines through, something beyond your mutual addictive needs. True communication is in a communion, the realization of oneness, which is love. Usually this is quickly lost again. Usually you are able to stay present enough to keep out the mind and its old patterns. As soon as the mind and the mind identification return, you are no longer yourself but the mental image of yourself, and you start playing games and roles again to get your ego needs met. You're a human mind again, pretending to be a human being, interacting with another mind, playing a drama called love. Although the brief glimpses are possible, love cannot flourish unless you're permanently free of mind identification and your presence is intense enough to have dissolved the pain body, or you can at least remain present as the watcher. The pain body cannot then take you over and become destructive of love. Okay. Destructive of love? I don't think. That's good expression. I don't think that's good expression, so. However, every crisis represents not only the danger but also an opportunity. If a relationship is energized and magnify equally mind the parents and activate the pain body as they do at this time, why not accept this fact rather than try to escape from it? Why not cooperate with it instead of avoiding relationships or continuing to pursue the patent of an ideal partner as an answer to your problems or a means of an feeling fulfilled? The opportunity that is concealed within every crisis does not manifest until all the facts of the given situation are acknowledged and fully accepted. As long as you deny them, as long as you try to escape from them or wish that things were different, the window of opportunity does not open up and you remain trapped inside that situation, which will remain the same or deteriorate further. When you know you are not at peace, your knowing creates a still space that surrounds your non-peace in a loving and a tender embrace, and then transmutes your non-peace into peace. As far as the inner transformation is concerned, there is nothing you can do about it. There is nothing you can do about it. You cannot transform yourself, and you certainly cannot transform your partner or anybody else. All you can do is create a space for transformation to happen, for grace and love to enter. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. All I can do is create a space for transformation to happen, for grace and love to enter. As far as the inner transformation is concerned, there is nothing I can do about it. I cannot transform myself, and I certainly cannot transform my partner or anybody else. All I can do is create a space for transformation to happen, for grace and love to enter. So, whenever your relationship is not working, whenever it brings out the madness in you and in your partner, be glad. What wasn't unconscious is being brought up to the light. It is an opportunity for salvation. Every moment holds the knowing of the moment, and particularly humanity is under great pressure to evolve because it is our only chance of survival as a race. This will affect in every aspect of your life and close relationships in particular. Never before have relationships been problematic and conflict-ridden as they were now. As you may have noticed, they are not here to make you happy or fulfilled. If you continue to pursue the goal of salvation through a relationship, you will be disillusioned again and again. But if you accept that the relationship is here to make you conscious instead of happy, then the relationship will offer your salvation. You will not be aligning yourself with a higher consciousness that wants to be born into this world. For those who hold on to their old patterns, there will be increasing pain, violence, confusion, and madness. How many people does it take to make your life into a spiritual practice? Never mind if your partner will not cooperate. Sanity, consciousness, can only come into this world through you. You do not need to wait for the world to become sane, or for somebody else to become conscious before you cannot be enlightened. You may wait forever. Do not accuse each other for being unconscious. The moment you start to argue, you have identified with the mental position and are now defending not only the position, but also your sense of self. The ego is in charge. You have become unconscious. At times, it may be appropriate to point out certain aspects of your partner's behavior. If you're very alert, very present, you can do so without ego involvement, without the blaming, accusing, or making the other wrong. When your partner behaves unconsciously, very plain is all judgment. Judgment is used to confuse someone's unconscious behavior with who they are, or to project your own unconsciousness onto another person and the mistake therefore in who they are. To replenish judgment does not mean that you do not recognize your dysfunction and unconsciousness when you see it. It means being the knowing rather than being the reaction and the judge. You will then either be totally free of reaction, or you may react and still be the knowing. The space in which the reaction is watched and allowed to be. Instead of fighting the darkness, you bring in the light. Instead of reacting to delusion, you see the delusion yet at the same time look through it. Being the knowing creates in a closed space of loving presence that allows all things and all people to be as they are. No greater catalyst for the transformation exists. If you practice this, your partner cannot stay with you and remain unconscious. If you both argue that the relationship would be your spiritual practice, so much the better. You can then express your thoughts and feelings to each other as soon as they occur, or as soon as your reaction comes up, so that you do not create a time gap in which an unexpressed and unacknowledged emotion or grievance can fester and grow. Don't you give expression to what you feel without blaming. Learn to listen to your partner in an open, non-defensive way. Give your partner space for expressing himself or herself. Learn to give expression to what you feel without blaming. What you feel without blaming. Be present. Accusing, defending, attacking all those patterns that are designed to strengthen or protect the ego or to get acknowledgement would then become redundant. Giving space to others and give to yourself is vital. Love cannot flourish without it. When you have removed the two factors that are destructive of relationships. When the pain body has been transmuted, and you are no longer identified with mind and the mental positions, and if your partner has done the same, you will experience the bliss of the flowering of relationship. Instead of mirroring to each other your pain and your unconsciousness, instead of satisfying your mutual addictive ego needs, you will reflect back to each other the love that you feel deep within. The love then comes with the realization of your oneness with all that is. This is the love that has no opposite. Remember that ego needs the problems, conflicts, and the enemies to strengthen the sense of separateness on which its identity depends. The unenlightened partner's mind will be deeply frustrated because its fixed positions are not resisted, which means that they will become shaky and weak, and there is even a danger that they may collapse altogether, resulting in loss of self. The pain body is demanding feedback and not getting it. The need for argument, drama, and the conflict is not being met. But beware, some people who are unresponsive, withdrawn, insensitive, or cut off from their feelings may think, and try to convince others that they are enlightened, or at least that there is nothing wrong with them and everyone wrong with their partner. Men tend to do that more than women. They may see their female partners as irrational and emotional, but if you can feel your emotions, you are not far from the radiant inner body just underneath. If you are mini in your head, the distance is much greater, and you need to bring consciousness into the emotional body before you can reach the inner body. Instead of being the pain body, the woman could be the knowing that watches and the emotional pain in herself, thus accessing the power of now and initiating transformation of the pain. If they are ready, they will walk through the door that you opened for them and join you in the state. If they are not, you will separate like oil and water. The light is too painful for someone who wants to remain in darkness. Okay. I don't know what's the answer exactly, but it's kind of deal.